Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 3 of the bull bar build and we're so close to finishing. But just before the video starts, I just wanted to jump in to let you know on something exciting. So if you go four-wheel driving, you're probably well aware of the issue, and that is the factory side steps. They are notorious for just being a side step and that's it. They can hold your weight, but they cannot hold any other car weight. And you'll probably know that they bend like crazy. So my one's bent, mate's ones are bent, and because of how low my car is, I knew that the side steps were not going to cut it, and my seals were next if I took them off, which I had. So what would you do? Well, you go out and get yourself a set of DIY Customs sliders. So these are the set of sliders that I have for my car. As you can see, they've got the kick out on them because I wanted to protect the tub and canopy in case you know, I get close to hitting rocks there. And I've actually gone and ordered some new chassis mounts and some gussets, and got some bolts as well sent from DIY Customs to replace the real mounts because I need to raise it for the body lift. So I've done that, and in the process of that, the guys at DIY Customs have hooked me up with a discount code for you guys to get a little bit of a discount. If you guys want to get yourself a set of sliders to protect your four-wheel drive, then head to the link down below and then choose the sliders you want on the website. It's really easy to choose, and you'll get to choose what options you want, like lengths and all that, and chassis dimensions and all that, and enter the code RComplex Customs 4x4 to receive a nice little discount on your order. Look, the guys at DIY Customs, they're really awesome dudes. Really easy to communicate with, and stuff gets sent out so quick. So you know, I support them all you can. They're doing great stuff. It's a lot cheaper to get kits like this than to pay big manufacturers to do it, and it's fun. I mean, who else wouldn't want to, you know, weld together a set of sliders? It's a fun project. So hit up that link in the description, get yourself some sliders, protect your four-wheel drive, and enjoy the video. What do you reckon, Tucker? Should I get some sliders? Yeah, he says yes. So in preparation for putting the mounts on permanently, got new bolts, and I've cleaned out these bolt holes with a little wire brush and some rust cleaner, and I've also wire wheeled all this stuff and painted it with chassis paint. I've also come into here and done these holes too with the brush to clean them out so they're ready for nice new bolts. But yeah, it's all sprayed up now. It looks nice and dark compared to, like, as you can see this. So yeah, pretty happy with that. But yeah, it just means that I'll be able to mount up the mounts when I'm done with the new recovery points that I've got as well, which I'll show you later. I've also got everything in that car because I'm taking it tomorrow to hopefully help someone about getting the tubing bent up. So fingers crossed that goes well, because once the tubing's bent up, I can pretty much put it all together. And I've also spoken to someone as well about getting the logo for a van laser cut into the skid plate. So I've sent off the design to him, so he's just getting the CAD stuff ready, I guess. But yeah, hopefully this can all be wrapped up soon. So I've got these pieces drying, as you can see. Just welded these on. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's gonna be in the frame, so I don't really care about how that looks, but anyway, that's drying at the moment. Gonna do the other side. But also in the meantime, I've made these little reinforcement plates for the winch, so the winch will sit onto this, so that piece there should be extra strong. I made sure that it didn't come in past this, and also I did the holes already and they're like pretty good. Some of them are just a little bit out, so what I'll do is just drill through from this side, from the other side, sorry, and get them right again. Obviously they stick out a bit at the bottom, but I just wanted to make sure that it was going to go the whole distance of this and not be a little bit too short or anything, because I wanted to make sure I can weld along there and weld along the bottom piece there, so I'll trim that off so that's okay. But yeah, I might see if I can get the other sides of these coated up, because we've set 3 coats now and I should be able to put everything on. Alright, so I have the mounts on for the last time, all torqued up to spec. Because these are M12 8.8 tensile strength bolts, they go to between 71 to 108 newton meters. I just did these to 90 because I was feeling pretty tight there anyway. So and these are got the new recovery points on there too. So I ended up not putting them above this piece, and it actually works out fine because this because these are 80 series Land Cruiser ones, it wasn't really going to fit anyway, and it was just too tight because this part here is too thick to fit in the gap, and it was not really working here, so ended up doing it like that instead. And yeah, it's actually fitting on there pretty nicely, as you can see. I'm glad I painted it black because now like the yellow really pops which is kind of cool. Don't mind the bucket, that's just catching brake fluid from the clutch because I've got to get a new clutch line. But yeah, that's what it looks like now. So what I'll do is I'll get the bar put on so I can mark out all the tubing for tomorrow to drop it off. So I've got the bar mounted back up now, and I've just tightened these up just so I can do some testing because I'm going to get the headlight hoop, the middle hoop put on there. So I've used it to mark all these ones for when they need a bend. So I'll drop those off tomorrow, as I said. But basically what the guys at the shop said was to get a flat surface, draw a straight line across the top. I marked the middle of here and also here of this tube, and basically this outside line is the width of the from here to that side. So pretty much get this top piece in line with the line there, as you can see, line up the middle line so it's perfectly on. It looks a bit funny because the camera where I'm looking, but it's dead on there. And then as you can see, this will tell me where it needs to go. So pretty much it said cut it straight off around that point, and then I can do the angle once I've cut it straight and it fits in the point, because obviously when I cut it straight here, because this part angles up, it's just going to sit on the top. So if I just shave down the sides and then angle it, or shave down like that, then it should lean forward, have the cool look to it. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Alright, so as you can see, I've got this piece tacked on. It was a lot harder than not than I thought. I knew it was going to be hard, but yeah, it was just hard. That's all I can say, really. As you can see, it's like this side piece is pretty good, like the little cut out to get the angle. As you can see, it's angled forward. It's pretty much like just in line with the top of the spotty, so any lower I would have not liked it. I'm already kind of tossing up if I want to get it redone or not, because of this side. Basically that. A mate of mine reckons it's fine, just like Chinese weld it, tack it, and then weld over the top of that, and then clean it up till we get a nice finish. But I'm not super sure about that, so because of my ability more than anything. So I'll see how it goes. I'll get the other stuff bent up, and then if I feel like I don't like it, then I might just cut this piece off and then get a new piece, because I don't have any more material to get it redone. But as you can see, that's what it looks like there. And if I come back a little bit, it kind of looks like that sort of thing from back far. Obviously you can't really tell without the other hoops, but anyway, get those done tomorrow and then get them put on, and we'll see how it is then. Alright, so I've gotten all the tubing bent up. So I've got two that are bent to 60 degrees for the top headlight piece, or the top wing. Two that are done 70 for the bottom piece, and then these two are 90 for the headlight hoop. And then I've got this redone for the middle hoop. So I'm just going to do the side pieces first, the wings. So they'll pretty much come from here, and they'll go into just in the guide here. This part will be cut off at some point. So yeah, I'm just doing that now. I just got to mark it out and get it cut, because it needs to angle back like along the line with the headlight sort of thing, and also I'm going to kind of have it coming up a tiny bit too. So I'll cut the angle to get the right angle back first, and then once I'm happy with that, then I'll get it trimmed so it goes up. Alright, so I've got that side and that side tubing on. This is just on here for show, just so I can see what it looks like with the spotlights on in that center hoop. It looks kind of funny at the moment because it's just one single hoop, but it will look better when the bottom piece is on. And also there's a bit of an infill panel here, and also I have a piece of flat going here and like along this, and obviously then the guard will come back on, so it will fill that space out, because at the moment it just looks like empty space. As you can see here, it does stick out a bit, and I did it on purpose. I trimmed this off a little bit, but the reason for this is because when I plan on getting 33s, I'll get a little bit of offset and get some trim. That's about 30mm, and so when I cut this off, it should be like around 30mm, or roughly. I don't expect it to be perfect. I don't really care too much, to be honest, but just as long as it will follow this nicely when I cut it, and also stick out a little bit, so when the trim comes in and I put that on for the bigger wheels, then it will look good and in line. So that's that. And then obviously this next piece will just go something like that, and it will go right in that little spot just there, somewhere there, which I'm thinking is going to be probably about as low as I can, about there, because obviously I want to be able to fit the fog light in there, which it looks like it will pretty nicely too, which is good because that actually leaves me with a bit of room. I could even make it that it goes a hole through there so I can slot it in there easier, but I decide on that in a bit when I go to make the plate anyway, because that's next step. But yeah, I'll call it there for now, because I don't have a helper at the moment. I had to get somebody to come down and help me hold them, which is a bit of a fun exercise. Let's just say, but yeah, they got like a pretty good gap there. This is obviously just a rough cut because I wanted to trim it off to make sure I get it right, because originally this part was looking too low. Like if you look on the side here, it looks pretty in line now with the body, but before this part was like sagging down heaps and it was really noticeable. So it's a bit off there, and also on the other side too, just like a tiny bit. That one's a bit closer. This side worked out like way better than the other side. As you can see, it's pretty level with the car, which is perfect, what I want. When you're looking from the front, it's kind of funny because it doesn't come up as much, but you can kind of see like the edges of the tubing, but I don't really mind that. I think it looks pretty good, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to get it all going together. Alright, so I didn't film much today at all, really, but as you can see, I've got this next piece tacked on, looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So pretty much the only thing which I accidentally was a bit of a bad measurement by me. As you can see, it's a bit short on this side, but that's fine. I'll just cut it like somewhere back here or something like that, and then make the other guard fit it nicely. So I'm not super stressed about that. But other than that though, it's looking heaps good. I didn't get the other side done, unfortunately, because it's a bit late. It took a long time to get this one right because I'm just using the grinder to do it. But as you can see, it's actually done, sitting on there pretty nicely. I also yesterday got a bottle of argon and CO2 gas. This is the size one here. Its initial cost was like expensive for them, but then the exchanges are like heaps cheap. So I started gas welding it, because the guy at the shop reckons I should gas weld the whole thing, which is pretty actually good, because like that shit's so easy compared to the gases. Holy crap. And the spotlight will fit in there nicely. Obviously it won't, I'm thinking about maybe having it like up here or more in the middle there. I've just got the plate will probably come in front, just in front of it, because as you can see, they got the mount there. And if I where's the ruler go? Yeah. If it's like in front, it's got enough clearance that it's gonna like miss that. But I'll see how it goes, because I could probably have it like a little bit in anyway, something like that. To fill out the piece there, I just need to make sure that I'll be able to get this bolt on. So that's why I want to have the spotlight up here, because then I can get something on to this one here, like from underneath, even like just a ratchet or something, just hold it, and then I can cinch up the inside maybe. But like, to be honest, I'm not really worried, because like that bolt's not going to be crucial for me when I'm putting it on, because I'll be using the top and bottom to like tighten it up and get it in the position I want. Then I'll put these as an afterthought. But yeah, like I said, I didn't get that one done, but what I did was I used paper to make a template on the edge of that one, and then I flipped it around and put it the other way around, so that this is pretty much the exact same cut for the other side, so it should be pretty even. So I'll do that tomorrow. Also, just a side note, I put this on just as a rough, like kind of just seeing how it fits. Just was the one that's curious, and as you can see, it kind of like perfectly fits the shape of what was cut here for the ARB bar, which is actually really nice. So I'll have to cut this, because as you can see, it doesn't quite fit down there. So I'll cut this higher when I actually go to do it. But that actually is really cool that it kind of works that way. And I'll just pinch tube the whole rest of it anyway. Obviously, I need to trim up here as well, because the plate that I'll be putting up here on top of this to strengthen this piece needs to make sure it clears this. But yeah, so it's good, looking good for this. And obviously, it needs to make sure I clear that piece too. So it'll be getting cut pretty high up, to be honest, and pinch welding along, because you need to have this on for the clips because at the moment this is just loose. But so I had a bit of time this morning, and I came out to the other side. As you can see, it lines up pretty much the exact same on both sides, which is cool. It's in the same spot as well, just at the bottom, just a little tiny gap, and then hit against this. I'm going to trim this back a little bit, just to make sure I get a weld in there. It's not, it'll be fine to do that just a little bit, and then I'll paint it. But yeah, so it's looking pretty good. I'm actually pretty happy with that. That's what it looks like in the front. And so now I'll be able to, I've just got to go somewhere today, maybe this afternoon I'll be able to do the headlight hoop, or the middle hoop, so should I say, because then after that it's just the headlight hoops left to do for the tubing. Alright, so managed to get back in time to put this centerpiece on. As you can see, it sticks just a bit above the spotlights, and it's just sitting right nicely there. I made it got a little bit over because that's fine, that part will just get welded anyway, so I'm not really worried. And there's about that much lean forward, which is more than enough, to be honest. I'm pretty happy with that. So it was a lot better than the other piece I had, because I think in the last video I had of this piece at least, the centerpiece, I said I was happy with it, but in reality I was not, because I don't know if I can get it on here, but you can see how much lower that one was. And also this part at the back had a massive gap. Actually, I think it was at the front here, you can see that's why the weld's come down heaps, the tack, because it was just really too low. That was just my bad if I'm cutting it shit. So this one I took my time a bit more with it to make sure that it was going to be okay. And you can see it looks pretty nice with the spotlights. If I take steps back, it's kind of looking pretty cool. So yeah, now it's just the last piece of tubing is the headlight hoops. So I'll see if I can maybe like mark something today. I won't be able to cut it today, I don't think. I don't know much time, I've got to go somewhere soon. But also I don't want to rush it, because it's going to have to be notching without a notcher, so just using the grinder, so that'll be fun. So I just started doing this one a little bit today, because I wanted to see if I could get it on. I've like kind of, all this notching stuff is done with just the grinder, so I've done the best I can to make it the shape I want it, and kind of like goes there, this side, pretty close actually. I just had to, started working on this one here, but I didn't quite get it finished, as you can see. But yeah, I'll get that one done maybe tomorrow morning. Then I'll be able to use this one as a guide for the other side, and cut like the same length and everything, and I'll see if I can make like a template out of paper for this, so I can just wrap it on the other one. It should just be matching. But yeah, sitting about there. Doesn't, obviously that's about as far as it comes in. I don't know if you can see it through the gap of this. That's pretty good. And then this is what it looks like from the side. But yeah, pretty happy with that. Looking pretty good. Right, so I didn't do any filming yesterday because I forgot basically. But as you can see, I've got the hoops on, the headlight hoops. They're looking pretty good. Got like this angle going on them for the sides. And obviously then when I get the sliders eventually, or brush bars should I say, they'll come out a bit and then go that way. I've still got to trim all this stuff down, but that's that. And they're looking pretty good. Pretty close centered. I think that one's a tiny bit lower, so I might cut that one off and just move it up a little bit. Just based off looking at the little triangle above. I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. They're pretty like even on like the heights here too. So what I'm kind of up to, and as you can see here, I'm trying to drill it, is the plates for the headlight. Also they go in the hoops. None of them went. No, under the cardboard for some reason. So this is one of them. Cut it out with this 105mm drill bit, which holds a bit, which is already like blunted basically. Trying to get this one. This one's about 2mm left to cut out, but it's just still, that's pretty blunt. And even after trying to sharpen it with the grinder, didn't really do much. So I might even just get another one, to be honest, because I can't afford to spend hours trying to drill that, because it's literally doing nothing. Like you just sit there drilling and no material comes out. But anyway, so this is the one I have, and it will pretty much, get it in, sit there just like this, as you can see, and then the fog light fit in there, which is pretty cool. So I'll probably get this one nice and cleaned up and then tack this one in place because I don't need this for the other one anymore. They're going to be pretty close, even wise. So yeah, I'll just clean this one up, the edges of it, tack it in place, and then I can start thinking about how to mount the spotlights at the back of it, because under all this mess, because I'm using the steady ones for the deluxe bull bar, I've got the 2 posts on the side. So what I'll probably do at the back of this, and this is the back side, is because it'll be something like that, I'll have one standoff like there and one standoff like here. They're kind of like just even, but because it bends back this way, this will be a bit longer, this will be shorter. And then obviously drill a hole through for the screw. But anyway, that's it. So I'm just going to do the top pieces now anyway, because can't do that one at the moment. But yeah. Alright, so I fixed up that hoop, just raised it up a little bit. There's a bit of a gap now between the between this and there, but I should be fine. I'm not really worried about that. I just, get it as best I can when I'm welding up, grind it, make it look cool. So I've got these infill panels here now. That's basically just to add a bit of strength this way. You don't have as much now because it's not fully welded in, it's just tacked, but that's the idea. And I'm still throwing up whether I do like a triangle piece that starts there and goes down to there, like at the angle, to add even more strength. So I might just do that real quick on both sides because that won't take long. And I've tacked in that side there, still like waiting for the other piece so I can do that, but that one's all good to go. And basically this will fit up in there like that. Pretty nice actually. It's actually got a lot of room, so that's it. I might make those triangles now. So I'll get some cardboard out, make some templates, and go from there. Alright, so today after work I went out and got another one of these drill bits, and managed to get this hole drilled now. So it's pretty good. Got a bit rough towards the end, as you can see how it's coming from the other side. Yeah, it wasn't very fun, to be honest, using that. Drill press probably would have been better, but even still, with the clamps as tight as I could go, it was just, you can see like the markings, it was still sliding. But anyway, here's what it is, don't really care. But exciting news, got this back today. So it's been laser coat, as you can see, Ghost Complex, that piece is ready to go on. So I'm going to tack on that piece and then get this tacked on. Then I'm going to mark the sides here for where it needs to get trimmed, and take some measurements for where this piece is, like for where the fill piece needs to go, and then I can take the bar off and then do any little bit of bracing that I want to do. Then it's weld time. Alright, so this side's now tacked on for the side piece, so they're both on there. And as you can see, I've got the bottom piece tacked in as well. Looking pretty cool. Obviously, being stock height, you can't really see it that well, but as soon as it's lifted, it's going to look really cool. And also, when it's painted black as well, so it's a bit more definition, not just a bunch of random white text on it too. So the plan now is I'm just going to put the fog lights in there where I think they're going to be center, and mark on this side the center lines for where the holes should be, so that when the light's in there it'll be straight like the LEDs. I did it on both sides, make sure that's good, and then I can reference down the other side just to when I take it off to do the brackets, look good. Then what else I need to do is just mark the distances around there, maybe make a template with cardboard for the surround piece, and then so I can get the piece trimmed, and also I'll just mark these edges and get them shaped when I take it off. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. Pretty much once I take it off, it's going to stay off until it's all welded together, and then yeah, it's pretty close now. Alright, so the bar is off the car now for hopefully the last time. Pretty much have these side pieces marked. As you can see, that's the angle. I've measured, because these top tubes are the exact same length, so I measured the distance from the middle of that to there when I did one side, and then used the angle finder to get that angle on this side. Then I went to the other side, marked it, measured it, so it's the exact same. Basically what I'm going to do here is just put these little pieces in that I made yesterday, get those nice and shaped up. So you can see it's a little bit big on some side, so I'll get these in, so a little bit of extra strength, and also just gets rid of that gap that was there. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm probably going to get a piece of steel that welds onto this and goes straight down on this, probably in like 2 spots, like maybe here and here, and then it comes up and there's like notches around this to just add some strength to this when it gets hit, because I can bend it with my hand, so imagine what the car can do. Then it's pretty much, oh, and also actually one more thing, I've got to do the brackets for the light switch. You can kind of see the paint marks in there, because we mismarked the center where the light will be straight, and then I'll put posts out here, and then you got to mount that on. So, alright, so it is Saturday, and I'm aiming to have the bar done. Well, I set a deadline for next week, Tuesday, so we've got a few things to do today before I can start welding it all together, cleaning up and welding it. So, I didn't film it yet, but I already cut the ends off. As you can see, they came out pretty good actually, considering I just did it with the grinder. You know, it was just like cut from the side and try to get as straight as possible, wrap it around. So pretty happy with that. Obviously I'll cut some little circles that can go in here to, you know, fill up this space, and then I'll be able to shape that end off and make it look nice. And then this afternoon I'm having a call with a friend who's gonna just help me with the way of like best way to weld it. So have a call with him, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to start welding it up together, because today I'll plan to have everything done by today. So yeah, we'll get onto it. Alright, so just an update, I've made these little brackets here, as you can see. They just sit in this on the bash plate, or the skid plate piece, and then they wrap around the pole. And the idea is that when something goes to hit it, obviously they're not tacked in yet, but it will, you know, these won't want to slide around, and it's just going to get some strength. So we've got 2 of them, pretty equal distance apart from the center. This one I did it a little bit more this way because I didn't want it to go in the letters, so I did them as best I could. Like this one's, you can see this strip that's behind here, so it kind of goes behind that, so you can't really see it. And in this one, well, there's no strips close by except for this one, but then it's too close to the center, so I just did it on this one, and it's pretty okay there. I'm pretty happy with that anyway. I'm not super fast, as you can see, it's like right there. So yeah, that'll add some strength. So I just let that piece cool down because it's a bit hot, and I might start making trying to figure out how to do these brackets for the fog lights. Alright, so it's been a little bit. I've gotten the mounts for the spotlights, or the fog lights, sorry, should I say, done. So I'll just run you through everything I've done so far at the moment. So tacked on these here. As you can see, I can't bend that really anymore, which is good. It was like really flexing before, but having this extra strength is going to be a lot, really do a lot. I've got these fog light mounts in. So the way these work is pretty much the fog light will come in, this side post will slot in here, if I can get it like that, and then this side here will slide there. And because the screw will be on this side here holding in place, it's not going to want to jump backwards, and also it's like a pretty decent fit, that slot, so it's not going to really want to come back unless you like move it over to the very end. So then they're pretty, it's hard to see, but they're pretty even from here. They look pretty straight, and they don't stick out past the past there, so it's cool. So that's that side, and then if we take it to the other side, same thing. Slot it in, and then slot it in there. So that's cool. That worked out well. I've had many dreams about this doing this, and I'm glad it's finally done, so I can rest easy. And also I've tacked these 2 corner pieces on there as well. And also, before you're wondering, I did check this bolt here does fit fine down there next to it, and then slots in perfectly fine, so I'm not worried about that at all. Alright, so it's nearly 8 o'clock, and I guess I'm calling this the official finish of the grinding and cutting part. Obviously I'm going to have to do a lot of grinding and stuff when I welded it all, and also I've got to grind all the edges to get rid of the rust, like with the wire wheel, but I don't really count that. I'm more saying like I'm not adding anything else now. It's all done. I'm up to where I want to be. I'm happy with that. So I put the caps on here, which obviously I don't have any thin material, so I just used a 5mm, a little bit of gapping because there's the tubing wasn't cut very well with the grinder, but it's okay because I'll just weld around them and then grind them back to shape it just like I did with the sliders, and they came out pretty well. See both sides done. And what I also did was added this little reinforcement piece in the middle here because it still had a little bit of flex, I noticed. But yeah, now it's like doesn't want to move at all, which is awesome. So that's pretty happy with that. I don't think I need to put any more here or anything. it doesn't want to flex at all because it's got this one here right next to it, which is like boxing it in, and this one here then is also adding strength. So I'm pretty happy with how that's done. So yeah, I'm just gonna I want to try and take some pictures of it, the back of it and the front of it, because I didn't get a call with a mate, or maybe see if I can talk to him tomorrow. Because yeah, from now on it's pretty much clean it up and start welding it.